Welcome, college basketball fans, to the Full Court Press Podcast with LT and Sammy D. This is the podcast that brings you legendary stories from college basketball's golden era and dives in deep with a current analysis of today's game. Get ready for the most energetic and entertaining college basketball podcast around. Let's get it.
Welcome to another Full Court Press, a college basketball coaches show. Luke Taylor, alone again. I'm starting to get his complex, so that's why you have a guest. So I'm excited. You know, I live in Akron, and this fine gentleman, and all we really want to know is, you're getting closer to 49, as am I, and I think all great people are born in April. Just saying, April 1st, we got April 28th, we got a gentleman right up north from me in Cleveland. We got head men's basketball coach Daniyal Robinson from the Cleveland State Vikings. Welcome to the Full Court Press, Coach.
Man, it's great to be with you today. And, April is a great month.
It is. It is. How do you think Coach Kaufman is feeling this morning?
Oh, man, you put everything into a game and you just rethink it but you don't have really much time to solve because I think they've got Milwaukee coming up next, and so
I know.
And you put everything you have into a game. Those guys fought hard and
great team, great, two great programs. What I love about both your programs is how many players you brought back. Like, how are you bringing players back in this day and age, in NIL or pay for play, whatever you want to call it, the transfer portal? How are you bringing players back? Because what we're seeing, both Sam and I are seeing, and Sam's obviously not here, is the players that come back are drastically improving. In your case, Tevin Smith, 8.1 points a game, 14.1 this year. Another player, what was it? Dylan Arnett, 3.6 last year, 10.9. How are you doing it, Coach?
Well, we're really fortunate for those guys to be back with us. Those guys were they played a lot last year. So we had 6 guys return, four the 6 played, and 2 other of our returners redshirted. And the guys that played last year, you mentioned Tevin, Dylan. We also had Chase and Jalen Rice. Now, Jalen Rice redshirting this year, he got injured, but those 4 guys played good minutes for us. Dylan being the starter last year, and to be able to bring those guys back was really huge for us to be able to carry over some of the cultural things and the nuances of what we've done the last few years, and the investment in their development. Those guys work really hard. I don't think Dylan hasn't been home since he was a freshman, and so he stays every summer, and he's a very hard worker, and to go along with all those guys.
Yeah. So you're 17-6. You're 11-1, 13-game winning streak. I mean, amazing in itself, and I'm happy you're joining us because we just talked to this past week Robert Jones from Norfolk State, and I don't think people understand how good and how deep and how strong the Horizon League is. We've had Coach Campy on the show. We've had Coach Kaufman. We've had Coach Calhoun, who's now at Utah State. We've had his replacement. We've had Coach Lundy. Kind of tell us how good in your eyes, because you're not a Horizon League guy. You came from Iowa State, Houston. You played at UALR, the Trojans. Right. Right. I know about you a little bit.
So the league is the parity in the league, top to bottom, is really good. When I first got here 3 years ago, I was surprised in the depth of the league, the talent, the guards, the experience, the coaching, and it seems like it's up the level every year. And this year's no different. You look to top to bottom, man, we've got some great teams in our league, and I think that speaks to the level of recruiting. I give our staff a ton of credit for recruiting at a high level and being able to bring guys in that can contribute and play our brand of basketball. But top to bottom, the league is really good.
Yeah, absolutely. Has your kind of recruiting philosophy, maybe even coaching philosophy, changed in the last 6 months to a year, just with all the kind of landscape of college basketball?
We've had to adjust some with NIL being, reaching our league and being a part of what we have to do. But our recruiting philosophy has pretty much stayed the same. I mean, NIL is a part of it, but we don't lead with that, right? We still recruit the same type of guys that have a chip on their shoulder, guys that have an edge, and we're going to recruit high school guys. We're going to look at JUCO transfers, and then also we're going to look at 4-year transfers. And so, we still recruit the same way, but you also have that component of NIL, and we know we're not going to be a school or a league that would get in bidding wars. And so, that's where we don't. If we start talking to a recruit and the first few things out of his mouth or his people's mouth is, regarding NIL, probably for us, we need to keep moving just because we can't get it.
Yeah. Well, you don't call us, we'll call you.
Yeah.
So I really like your background. Rock Island, so north, I guess that's northwestern Illinois. Or no, you're south. Rock Island south. No.
So we're just south of Chicago, close to the Iowa-Illinois border.
Yeah, Quad Cities.
Yeah, Quad Cities.
Yeah, Quad Cities. I got lost. I'm a UIC graduate and a DePaul graduate. I apologize. So you went the JUCO route, and you went to a powerhouse JUCO route, especially back then. What was that like going to Indian Hills? I mean, you guys produced some ball players over the years.
Yeah, so I went to Indian Hills because my brother went there. My brother he's 4 years older than me, went to Indian Hills, played for Terry Carroll. They went to the national tournament. I hadn't heard anything about junior college until he went, and turned out to be a great experience for him. He went on to go to St. Louis U and play for Charlie Spoonhour.
Nice.
And so when I got the opportunity to go there, and it was a good opportunity for me for my development, because I wasn't quite polished enough to go straight to Division I. And so being in a small community and being, the big deal in that community, Indian Hills was a big deal in that community. And so we had great support, fun basketball. Terry Carroll was a former, he was an assistant at Iowa State for a while. He went on from there to be a head coach at University of Denver. And so we had great coaches. And then we also had a guy, the assistant coach that did the recruiting was Mike Capaccio. And Mike Capaccio he was a great mentor. He spent a lot of time with the players every single day. And Mike is now the AD at the Citadel. So I was surrounded by some great men, great mentors at Indian Hills. And then I went on to Arkansas Little Rock and played for Wimp Sanderson.
Yeah, good old Wimp Sanderson and the Houndstooth sport coats. Do you feel like your background in JUCO playing for those couple years kind of helps you kind of in the current landscape? Because I feel like we had Ross Hodge from North Texas. He's a big JUCO guy, coach there. He's like, everybody should coach in JUCO. I mean, and you almost feel like how basketball's gone or is going, or pretty much gone, is it's 1 year, 2 years. I mean, has that kind of helped you with your kind of recruiting and just kind of the team makeup and building culture in a kind of a quicker way than usual?
Yeah, well, the JUCO route is, you find guys from JUCO that are hungry, right? Guys that have a little bit of edge. They're going to appreciate the scholarship. Not to say that, guys don't, but a junior college guy is going to appreciate the dining hall and all those type of things, the apartment and all that. Yes, it's definitely helped. Over the years, I've also recruited JUCO. I remember Ross Hodge was a JUCO head coach. I went down to recruit some of his players. I actually got a kid, Jonathan Simmons, from him when I was at University of Houston. And Ross has done a phenomenal job at North Texas, man. Love to see an opportunity. But junior college, And for us, we don't just recruit any JUCO, right? We recruit programs. We recruit, JUCO programs because there is a big transition from junior college to Division I in terms of structure and all that stuff, and the academics. And so, all of the guys that we've recruited from junior college, we recruited programs and have relationships with their coaches.
Yeah. So you've played, coached under, coached with some pretty, good coaches. Obviously, you played for Whip Sanderson, Porter Moser at Loyola Chicago. It's hard for me to say Loyola Chicago as a UIC grad because we used to battle in the Midwestern Collegiate Conference, now known as the Horizon League. And then you went to Iowa State with Coach Prom. And I think it's pretty amazing because you don't really hear of many coaches when a new coach comes in being retained. Okay. Coach TJ, who I think wears the smallest shirts known to man when he's on the sidelines. Come on, man. You got to admit. I mean, he's got some guns.
Hey, TJ's cut, man. He's cut up. He's really cut.
Would you say he's the most cut coach?
He works at it too now, man. But you guys see TJ's regiment, man. This guy is a machine, and I've known him for years. I've known him for over 20 years, and he's a machine. Like, he probably works on 5 hours of sleep, but you'll never know it. And but man, he's a very intense guy. But man, being able to stay on at Iowa State was huge for me and in our career because. First of all, family wise, my son Reese, that's on the team right now. He was when we had a really good run with Coach Prome, and being able to go to Sweet 16. We won a Big 12 tournament. We had some guys drafted, and then COVID hit, and we stumbled the last 2 years, and it really went down. And when Jamie brought in TJ. I wasn't for sure if TJ was going to clear house, even though we had a prior relationship. I understand how this industry goes, and for him to retain me was huge for not only my career but my family and where my oldest son was at in high school. He was going from his freshman to his sophomore year, and so that was really important to be able to keep that intact. And things worked out, man. The turnaround was awesome. And then Cleveland State became an option for us.
Yeah. Tell me about Hilton Magic.
Well, Hilton is one of those places that until you've been there, you won't really know. Like, you see it on TV and all that, but man, just the feel of it. They're a passionate fan base. The thing that stood out to me, and so I was there from 2008 to 2010 with McDermott, and then I left and I came back. But when I was there with McDermott, and all the time that I was there, you have 4,000 students seating, right? They call it Cycle Valley. And then they had 10,000 season ticket holders, okay? And the place only seats 14,300. And so, you had 10,000 season ticket holders. And so what happens is, in the state of Iowa, there's no pro sports, or there's not an NBA team.
There's the Iowa Cubs.
Yeah, well, you got the Iowa Cubs, but in that state, it's Iowa State.
Right.
And Iowa State has been gaining so much traction over the course of the last 10 years, starting with Hoiberg's return.
Yeah.
And it was just at a fever pitch when I got there with Prome. And man, there's, people live for that. They drive 2-3 hours. It was a great to be a part of as a coach. And then obviously bringing players into that environment.
Yeah, absolutely. You always hear of Sam's from Kansas City originally. I grew up a Kansas Jayhawk fan just because my uncle was head of the athletic board, a professor at KU. And I remember watching Iowa State at Allen Fieldhouse with Fred Hoiberg, and I think Calvin Cato might have been on that team, and Lorenzo Orr was on that team. I mean, I got to see firsthand how passionate, because there was Iowa State fans, and I feel like Iowa State does not get its credit when it comes to home environments and stuff like that, because there's a reason why it's called the Hilton Magic.
Right. I mean, they will you to win. My first year back there with Prone, we were Iowa was really good. We were good, and we were down 18 at the half, and that place was sold out. All that, man. It gets to about the 11-minute mark. We're still down big, and then next thing you know, the momentum shifted, and the crowd just willed us to win. And we had wins like that. We beat Oklahoma there when they were #1 with Buddy Hield, and that type of deal. And so you create those moments there at a place like Hilton.
Yeah, absolutely. So who did you grow up cheering for in college? Like, what was the dream school for you if you were where you were at growing up in kind of that Illinois-Iowa border?
Yep. So I was Illinois.
Shandana.
Yeah. Illini guy. You at that time, you had Kenny Battle and all those guys at Illinois. The flying
Jimmy Collins, baby, UIC. Yeah. Jimmy Collins. We had that whole coaching staff. We had Coach Coombs, we had Coach Nagy, we had Coach Cross was a walk-on. We had Drew was our assistant too. He came. I mean, the whole Illinois bloodline. I mean, we had Bryant Notary. You might know that name.
Yeah, I remember Notary. Yeah,
that's my boy B Note, and he played at Illinois, then came to UIC. So, they had Kendall Gill, Marcus Liberty. Nick Anderson. I can keep going. Lowell Hamilton, Deion Thomas. I can keep going if you want.
Yeah. They had some dudes, man, during that time, and so we follow Illinois growing up, and we were, even though we were close to Iowa, I really followed Illinois, and then Dr. Tom Davis was at Iowa, and my high school coach Duncan Reed actually had a relationship with him, and so we were able to catch a couple games over there. But when I knew I wanted to get into coaching, my last few years of college in the summer, I would go and work a ton of basketball camps, and so I worked Iowa State's camps. I worked camps down in Little Rock, where I played, and we would go everywhere, northern Iowa.
Yeah, you get the free housing for the week, the free food. You work 6-8 hours a day, and you make $225 a week. I know how it works. I did it before.
Exactly.
It was awesome, wasn't it?
I'm sorry.
Wasn't it awesome?
Man, that was great. It was great.
Wasn't it? I mean, it was. I remember I used to work the Syracuse basketball camp, and man, it was like the dream. It's I won't say what else they gave us, but I mean, it was fantastic. And
stay up all night. You had those overnight camps. You had to watch the kids. We were slanging pizza like we were working the concessions and all that stuff. So it was pretty fun time. But you got a chance to be around some really good coaches, learn the game. That's when those coaches used to do chalk talk. Things and stuff like that.
They were there, 24/7. Yeah, they were there, and I mean, they like they were there the whole week. It's not, and I'm not saying it is now, but they come in for half an hour, an hour. I mean, they're there like instructing. And I remember the pickup. The pickup was epic at night with like all the camp counselors, and like I remember Syracuse. I mean, Jason Chipola came and played. Lazarus Sims. I mean, they had a whole bunch of, and it was fun, getting them and stuff like that. So. I guess that's what happens when you get old and you reminisce about the good old days. But
how about that?
Oh, well, I mean, it was good times, man. I wish I would have done more, but I mean, you write all the letters and you wait to see who you can get, and then you just kind of like, put your schedule together. Like, I'm going to go to Indiana, and then I'm going to go here, and then I got to figure out how to get from here to here. You get on the Greyhound, and I mean, those were. You wish you had those days still. I mean, it'd be impossible now. You're married with kids, but.
Right. No care in the world back then.
No, I know. Let me ask you something before we go to the shot clock. What does culture mean to you, especially now that you're a head coach?
Well, culture is what you do every single day, right? What these guys do every single day, the habits that you build on a day-to-day basis. And, for us, a big part of it is through our core values. We talk about humility, excellence, accountability, relentlessness, and togetherness. And so, man, we try to build our guys up to live those things out every day. And me, that's culture. When it shows up, when nobody's looking, the amount of work that these guys put in behind the scenes, is tremendous. The sacrifice that they're making, is why I feel like we've been able to have some success because all these guys have really bought in. We've got some great high character young men, and so they represent our culture every single day.
Yeah. Who's kind of been the biggest surprise this season for you, if you had to pick one player?
Gosh, it's hard because we have.
Who's your favorite coach?
It's hard because we have a lot of balance.
Let me ask you. Give me some of the surprises. Like, don't give me one. I hate asking. It's like when someone asks you have 3 kids like myself. Who's your favorite child? I mean, I can pretty much tell you who's not going to push me over the hill, but it's hard to get that. So I guess, what are some of the pleasant surprises from the offseason that you're seeing translate into games? I mean, I will tell you one for sure. Last night, Tevin Smith got a little bit of foul trouble. Didn't play much, only played 22 minutes, still scored 16 points. And to beat, Purdue Fort Wayne, I mean, Chase Robinson had a pretty darn good game last night.
Yeah, so Chase has been a constant, right? And so Chase is a selfless guy, came from D2, scored 1,000 points at
Springfield.
Yep, Springfield D2. And he came in redshirted. Last year, he was a sixth man and seventh man. And this year he could have been a starter, all that, man. But he actually is better coming off the bench and sees the game great. And he's been effective in so many ways. And then you look at Tevin Smith, the jump he's made. We challenged him. He's a great defensive player, but we challenged him on the offensive end because you look how much he impacts the game. He guards the other team best player, whether it's a forward or guard, and then he still produces 14 to 16 a night for us. And then the production that Dylan Arnett, the gradual production that he's made, the impact that he makes defensively is as great as what he's doing as a finisher. And so, you look at those guys, but then what I'm proud of is a guy like Ebo Deba that hadn't played basketball in a year and a half, really coming off some major injuries, him sticking with it day in, day out to get himself ready to go. And he's been productive in our league play. He's been really, really good. And then, so, we can go down the line. Taj Tavesky coming off, a transfer year, jumping in there, he shot it. Our 2 freshmen, Reese and Jay Sean, they're playing well beyond their
years.
They're punching above their weight, I should say. And so, I feel like that's something that's different with our team, where the last 2 years, Tristan and Aruna was like a cut above, and everything ran through Tristan. But with this group, every night it seems like a combination of guys are stepping up for us. And then they all are playing defense. All of our guys, they all play.
Right. The last time if we ever have you back, which you're trending in the right direction here. If we ever have you back, I'm not going to ask you to name one player because you named me the whole damn team, coach.
Hey.
And that's what it's called, a team, right?
Man, you got to know better. I love all those guys.
I know.
Hey, so I'll tell you this. Hey, so Matt Campbell's the head coach, football coach at Iowa State.
Absolutely.
And Matt Campbell, he gets questions like that all the time. And after he gets done talking, you think like the whole team is going to the Pro Bowl, but man, and I feel like all these guys are equally important. They are. And to make it work the way we do it, they have to feel that way.
Right. Yeah, no, right. And I mean, that's part of a team. That's why kids are coming back. That's why they want to play. That's why they're, like you're saying, Chase Robinson is selfless in coming off the bench. It's hard to get that from a lot of 18 to 22-year-old, 23-year-old, 24-year-old, now, 34-year-old men playing D1 basketball with the way the NCAA is going. I think I still have some eligibility, coach, at 48, but we do a shot clock. Sam usually sets it up. It's just kind of quick, easy. If it leads to a longer answer, go for it. But just kind of light and airy. We're really going to know about you now, okay? Right. So give me one word to describe Cleveland State.
Gritty.
Gritty. Okay. Biggest misconception. No, let me answer this. One word to describe the Horizon League.
Tough.
Okay. Biggest misconception of the Horizon League.
Biggest misconception. Gosh, that's a misconception, I guess, would be talent.
Okay, I've heard that before. I've asked Coach Kaufman that and Coach Campy, and it's a really strong league, and I think it's you play a tougher schedule in the front, and then you come in the back, and you're seeing teams that are 10-10, but they're 8-2 in conference. And it's just that whole and being a mid-major guy myself, I understand that. Like you see these schools, like, I mean, if you've got a winning record come February, even January, you're a really good team.
Yep. That's true.
All right, best coaching advice you're ever given.
Best coaching advice that I've been ever given. Man, be yourself.
Okay.
Be yourself.
Yep, I like that. That's good life advice. What is one arena you've always wanted to coach at that you haven't coached or played in?
Cameron Indoor Stadium.
Ooh. You sure you're ready for that?
Man, I always wanted to play it at Michigan, and after the game we played this year, I didn't really like it so much. But I thought I wanted to play in Chrysler Arena, but man, after what happened, I didn't really like it as much. But Duke is a place I really would love to coach at.
Yeah, I've been to a game. We after I graduated, UIC played at Duke, just because of the Coach K Chicago connection, and I was right behind the bench, and it was pretty cool. The school was out, but I mean it was packed. It's only like 19 or 20 rows high, but I mean they're on you, man. And they got chance. My high school coach played at Duke twice. He played at BU under Mike Jarvis, really good program at the time, and he was telling me like they had. Mark Daly, and they'd all chant, "You stink," and load the. I mean, they're like smart. I mean, it's one of the best schools in the nation. So, give me your funniest recruiting story.
Man, I was recruiting a kid.
You didn't flinch, coach.
My first year as an assistant, a full-time assistant at Illinois State. Man, I'm just like, just a go-getter. Like, I'm going to get this done. So we had been on a kid, Jerome Randall, who wound up going to Cal. He was a
ball dribbler, man. He was a short point guard. Yeah, he was good.
Yes, but he was a late bloomer. Like his recruiting hadn't picked up, and so I'm at Illinois State, and I'm wearing his people out. I'm wearing him out, wearing his mom out, wearing his coach out, and we were just trying to get a home visit. And man, they kept putting us off, and I'm in Chicago recruiting by myself, without Porter, and they called and said, "Hey, coach, we've got an opening this evening if you guys can get in." So I called Porter right away. I was like, "Coach, man, the Randalls will have us tonight," and there was no way he could make it to Chicago. and Porter was like, "You got it. Just go in there, just do your thing, man. Everything will be all right." And so like, I am, man, I'm excited, but now I'm just straight nervous. And I had, back then you didn't wear polos and you would wear a suit, right? So I had my suit. I was ready to go. It was right around dusk. So like right around like the sun was going down. It was right around 7 or so. And I pulled up on their block, and I just a little bit earlier, I'm going through my book, my presentation book, and so I see they have the door open with the front porch light on. So I walk up, and I'm just nervous as heck. And I walk up, and I see, man, that she opened the door. The door was open, and I wound up just walking straight through their screen door. I stepped through like I thought it was, I thought it was a screen door from like head to toe, and I stepped through the screen door. That's how I got the home visit started, and I was in that house for 30 minutes. So like a home visit lasts an hour or so, man. Those people had me in and out of there for 30 minutes. Like, It was just so bad. It was so bad. I never talked to Jerome Randall again. Last time I saw him, he was on TV playing. But man, I stepped right through their screen door, and it's unbelievable.
So how did that conversation go with Coach Moser?
Well, man, I think it was a few days before I actually told him I stepped through the screen door. You know, I had to let him know. Now, Coach, obviously, knowing what I know now and what I learned afterwards, Coach knew we had no shot at getting Jerome Randall. That's why he's like, you got it, big boy. I should have been more mad at Coach than I was.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
That was a little long-winded, but
yeah, that's great. Was he Hales Franciscan? Where did he go to high school?
He was at Hales Franciscan.
I know a little bit about Chicago hoops. Give me your spirit animal. If you were an animal, what animal would you be?
Ooh, a spirit, man. I use all these deals in our preparation. So like, I'm a wolf. I'm a dog. I'm a tiger. So,
not recruiting Jerome Randall. More like a hyena or a donkey.
Man, I was a cub back then. I was a cub.
Yeah,
but no.
I love it.
Yeah. So man, even eagle, like being an eagle. So you use all these
analogies. Yeah, I love it. Love it. All right, last question. Song that best describes you. What would be your walk-up song or walkout song or song you listen to before a game?
Man, these guys got me listening to some stuff here now. All right, and I got to pull this up, okay? Because only thing I know, and I wouldn't really, man, my wife is she's going to kill me. But it's a song these guys play all the time. It's called like "Take Over Your Trap," "Walk into Your Trap," "Take Over Your Trap," and it's a lot of choice words in there, but. We've been playing that a lot in the locker room after games.
Keep playing it. You've won 13 in a row, right? I mean, don't change something.
Yeah. No, but really, I get in my preparation though. I play a song called "Grave Clothes," and it's a gospel song, and so that's when I have my quiet time. And just getting prepared, and it's a song called "Grave Clothes," and what the story of the song is basically like, you've been down, and then you've had to rely on God to get you out of your situation, and only He can help you get out of your situation, and so leaning on Him for strength. When have my quiet time, I listen to that song all the time, and I started listening to it years ago. In the industry when you go through some stuff, and that song right there for me does it for me. It gets me in the right frame of mind.
Yeah, we've heard everything from oh my God, to Jimmy Buffett to Jerome Tang had a gospel song too that was really good. It's going to be big. Which is a good analogy and a good song, especially from this year. He went big his first year in coaching, a head coach, and best advice he ever got is don't win soon. And don't win too early. And he obviously didn't listen to that one. But you won nothing, you got nothing. But question always Sam asked, last question. We're going to just give you kind of the podium last minute or so. What can the Cleveland Vikings fan expect? The alumni, the fans, what can they expect the rest of the season from you guys?
Well, continued hard play. Like the success is great. We've been, we've obviously been doing well, but every night out, man, it's my expectation and our expectation as a program when we hit the floor to be the hardest playing team on the floor and to, play with a high level of physicality on both ends of the floor, offensively and defensively, having a stingy defense and being really stubborn on offense to get what we want. And carrying those things out. And again, like what we would love for our fans to see play out is our connectivity. Our aura, our energy is palpable, right? When, although I've been in these places like Iowa State, you play in all these big arenas and stuff, there's nothing like creating your own energy. And that's one of the things that our team does. We create our own energy. And you can expect that every single night, regardless of the outcome, that our Cleveland State team will create our own energy every single night.
Love it, Coach. You're going to stick on for one more second just so we can upload. Check out the Cleveland State Vikings. They're on a roll. It'd be nice to see if they go undefeated the rest of the season and go dance. I feel like Coach likes dancing. And actually, Cleveland's going to be hosting the NCAA first and second round, which you're not going to be able to play there. So kind of sucks that you're down the street and you don't get to play there. But you never know. They'll give you the one seed. But check out the Cleveland State Vikings. Thanks to Coach Robinson. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, review. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Also, check out our Substack page. We got a lot of good stuff in there. And check out College Basketball Weekly as we talk about all the landscape of college basketball each week. We'll be back next week on the Full Court Press, a college basketball coaches show.